From the CyberHub bunker and studio, you're tuning in to the CyberHub Podcast. And now for your host and CISO, James Azar.
Good morning, security gang. Monday, May 27th, 2024. Good morning to another episode of the CyberHub Podcast. It's Memorial Day here in these United States, a rainy day nonetheless, and I think nothing more fitting than a day to remember the men and women who made the ultimate sacrifice for the rise, continuation, and exercise of freedoms in this nation than a day filled with clouds raining down on all of us to see. How fitting it is for a Memorial Day. For those who may not fully comprehend a Memorial Day, who may say a happy Memorial Day or others, Memorial Day is a day we remember these brave men and women, a day where the people who've made and paid the ultimate sacrifice are honored on this one day a year, Memorial Day. Different from Veterans Day, where we honor our vets, Memorial Day, we honor those who have fallen, killed in action or otherwise, that were lost. Over 800,000 since the establishment of this nation have perished in defending its constitution and its people. And we continue to pray for the safe return of all of our service members. But nonetheless, when you think of Memorial Day, please take a moment to pray, to meditate to the families of those who today is a sharp reminder and a stark reminder of what they've lost. Mothers and fathers who've had to bury their kids, children grown up without a father or mother, brothers and sisters missing their sibling, aunts, uncles, cousins, friends, all somber today in remembering these brave souls who volunteered to join the armed services and lost their lives doing so. So take a moment to remember them. Get started with this morning's show. Thank you all for tuning in again. Really appreciate y'all taking time to be with us this morning. Let's go ahead and get the show going. Before we do that, though, I'd be remiss but then have a shot of my double espresso. Coffee cup cheers, y'all. Even though it's a holiday weekend, we typically see in these types of weekends a slew of ransomware activity. Reason for it is because most of the time it's an extended day, and so everyone's taking a few extra days off. We'll talk about that in just a moment. Well, first of all, kick off with this story here. A consumer-grade spyware app has been found running on the check-in systems of at least 3 Wyndham hotels across the United States, according to TechCrunch. The app, called PC Tattletale, stealthy and continually captured screenshots of the hotel's booking system, which contained guest details and customer information. Thanks to a security flaw in the spyware, these screenshots themselves are made available to anyone on the internet, and not just the spyware's intended users. Maybe they should follow secure by design best practices as issued by CISO. This is the most recent example of consumer-grade spyware exposing sensitive information because of security flaw in the spyware itself. So the second known time that PC Tattletale has exposed screenshots of the devices on which the app is installed. Many other spywares have had their own challenges there. This specific PC Tattletale would allow whoever controls it to view the target's Android or Windows device and its data from anywhere in the world. Its website says that the app runs invisibly in the background on their workstation and cannot be detected. Security researcher Eric Deigel has told TechCrunch that he found the compromised hotel check-in system as part of an investigation into consumer-grade spyware. These apps are often referred to as stalkerware for their ability to be used to track people, including spouses, domestic partners, without their knowledge nor consent. PC Tattletale periodically takes new screenshots of the device that the app is running on, sometimes every few seconds. These screenshots from the 2 Wyndham hotels, as seen by TechCrunch, show the names and reservation details of guests on a web portal provided by travel tech giant Sabre, not to be confused with Sabre Dunder Mifflin, just Sabre. The screenshots of the web portals also display guest partial payment card information. They're typically the last 4 in order to comply with PCI requirements. Wyndham spokesman Rob Myers has told TechCrunch in an email that it's a franchise organization, meaning all of our hotels in the U.S. are independently owned and operated. Wyndham would not say if it was aware that PC Tattletale was used on the front desk computers of its branded hotels, or if its used PC Tattletale was approved by Wyndham policies. So, kind of disowning that's very, very funny. So PC Tattletale available out there. Someone's using it on hotels. That's just a case in point of the dangers that lurk out there. Google having a rough time now patching its fourth Zeroday in Chrome to address another exploited vulnerability, CVE 2024-5274, a high-severity flaw is described as a type confusion in the V8 JavaScript and WebAssembly engine. Google is aware that an exploit for this one does exist in the wild. The company shared no details on the bug itself, nor of what's happening in the wild. As it said, they just patched it and are asking everyone to update their devices. The MITRE Corporation has revealed that the cyber attack that targeted it towards late December of last year by exploiting the Ivanti Zeroday flaw involved the threat actor creating rogue VMs within its VMware environment. The adversaries created their own rogue VMs within the VMware environment, leveraging compromised vCenter server access, according to MITRE researchers Lex Crumpton and Charles Clancy. They wrote and deployed a JSP web shell under the vCenter server's Tomcat server to execute a Python-based tunneling tool, facilitating SSH connections between adversary-created VMs and the ESXi hypervisor infrastructure. The motive behind it is to sidestep detection by obscuring their malicious activities from centralized management interfaces like vCenter, and they maintain persistent access while reducing the risk of being discovered. As more details of this attack emerge, it's revealed that China Nexus threat actor tracked by Google's own Mandiant under the moniker UNC5221 breached the network for experimentation, research, and virtualization environment by exploiting two ICS flaws, CVE 2023-46805 and CVE 2024-21887. Once they bypassed MFA and gained initial foothold, the adversary moved laterally across the network. They leveraged a compromised administrator account to take control of the VMware infrastructure and deploy various backdoors and web shells to retain access and harvest credentials. This really goes to the heart of the challenge here. If you've got anyone with admin access, should be on your threat intel discovery list. So it shouldn't just be your executives, but anyone with significant admin access to sensitive information should be on that threat intel list. So if their passwords are ever leaked online, you just force reset all of their passwords right then and there. And that's how you kind of avoid this. One of the things I've started to learn as I get in more in this, and Roger Grimes has a great book called Hacking Multi-Factor Authentication, right? So if you take a look at passwords in MFA, there's a need to, one, deploy MFA promptly and correctly, number one. Number two, it's the big one, ensuring that you're monitoring those types of environments really, really well, and then you're resetting those passwords often. And you can also reset MFA tokens, which is another smart thing to do, is delete the app, put it on a new app, and create some sort of resilience there as well, especially with people. You don't have to do it to everyone, all right, because I can already see the hate mail coming through, but do it to the people who are technically savvy enough to do this. So there's that. Ascension is slowly restoring its network as nurses, doctors cite real-world dangers of the cyber attack. The Catholic Hospital Network, Ascension, said it's expecting to make continued progress in recovering from the ransomware attack by the end of this weekend. The nonprofit's more than 140 hospitals and senior care centers have struggled to distribute medicine, handle test results, intake emergency cases for more than 2 weeks following the ransomware attack by the Black Basta gang. On Friday, a spokesperson said in a statement that they are hopeful that after the weekend, patients and clinicians will see progress across our points of care. Many of our vendors and partners have also started the process of reconnecting to our network and resuming services, which should help accelerate the overall recovery. Until that time, please know that our hospitals and facilities remain open and are providing care. Just shows you the real threats that go on with these attacks on healthcare facilities. A new ransomware strain called Shrinklocker is creating a new boot partition to encrypt corporate systems using Windows BitLocker. Shrinklocker, named so because it creates the boot volume by shrinking available non-boot partitions, has been used to target government entities and companies in the vaccine and manufacturing sectors. The ransomware using BitLocker to encrypt computers is not new. A threat actor used a security feature in Windows to encrypt 100 terabytes of data on 40 servers at a hospital in Belgium. Another attacker used it to encrypt systems of a Moscow-based meat producer and distributor. In September of 2022, Microsoft warned that an Iranian state-sponsored attacker utilized BitLocker to encrypt systems running Windows 10, 11, and Windows Server 2016 or newer. Kaspersky says that Shrinklocker comes with previously unreported features to maximize the damage of the attack. It's written in Visual Basic Scripting, a language Microsoft introduced in 1996, and it's now in depreciation path, available as a feature on demand starting on Windows 11 version 24H2. One of its capabilities is detecting the specific Windows version running on the target machine by using Windows management instrumentation there as well. And you see how here there's examples of how it's shrinking, hence the name Shrinklocker, and how they're overriding some activity. So the entire kind of TTPs and IOCs of this specific ransomware is available in the show notes. Go check that out. I want to be mindful of time here. An Indian national has pleaded guilty to wire fraud conspiracy for selling over $37 million through a fake Coinbase website used to steal credentials. Chirag Tomar, 30 years old, was arrested at Atlanta Hartsfield-Jackson Airport on December 20th following investigations by the Secret Service with assistance from the FBI in Nashville. Tomar and his co-conspirators created a fake website to mimic the Coinbase Pro website in June of 2021, using the CoinbasePro.com domain. The site was created to trick legitimate Coinbase customers into entering their login credentials and two-factor codes, thinking it was the actual site. Coinbase Pro is a now defunct platform designed for professional cryptocurrency traders and investors, offering advanced features like real-time order books and detailed charting. The platform was shut down on November 9th of 2022. He was arrested just last December. He's now pleaded guilty. The fraudster now faces a maximum sentence of 20 years in prison and a $250,000 fine. So we'll see that. The stolen funds were used to support a lavish lifestyle, purchasing luxury items like Rolex watches, Lamborghinis, and Porsches, and trips to Dubai and Thailand. Living the life. Morocco-based cyber criminals are cashing in on a bold gift card scam, according to Microsoft. The cyber criminal operation is breaching the systems of a large retailers in order to fraudulently issue gift card codes to themselves. They've been tagged as Atlas Lion or Storm 0539er. The group's been spotlighted repeatedly by Microsoft over the last year for its sophisticated tactics in breaching retailers. Rather than scam or phish everyday people directly for gift card-based payments, Storm 0539er infiltrates large retailers and fraudulently issues gift card codes to themselves, virtually printing their own money, according to Microsoft's Vasu Jackal. Unlike most cyber criminals who move on the new targets once their objective is complete, they remain in the systems for repeated cash outs. Ahead of Memorial Day holiday, Microsoft has said it's seen a 30% increase in activity conducted by Storm 0539er compared to the preceding 2 months. Microsoft has been tracking them since at least 2021 and has watched as the group evolved from stealing payment card data by using malware on a point-of-sale devices like retail cash registers and kiosks. And as technology have evolved, they've gone to cloud services and card system used by large retailers, luxury brands, and well-known fast food restaurants. They've become adept at conducting reconnaissance on organizations' gift card issuance processes and employee access before compromising accounts. To remain undetected, they adopt the guise of legitimate organizations obtaining resource from cloud providers. Under the pretense of being nonprofits, they create convincing websites, often with misleading typo squatting domains, names with a few characters different from the authentic websites. From there, they gain access to login information through phishing and smishing text before registering their own devices into a victim's network, allowing them to bypass MFA and maintain their access to an environment. They then create new gift cards and either cash them out through money mules or sell them to other cyber criminals at a discount on the dark web. They've seen them steal up to $100,000 a day at certain companies through individual gift cards. And finally, final end-to era ICQ messaging app is officially shutting down on June 26th, marking the end of what we all came to remember, at least if you're in my age, the first messaging platform. Remember when people show up online, you text them right away, there? What's happening? How are you doing? Well, that's it, y'all. End of an era for ICQ. That's it for our show today. Thank you all for tuning in. Please say a prayer for those families who've lost their dearest this Memorial Day. Thank you all for tuning in. Have a great rest of your day and stay cyber safe.
We love feedback, so make sure to connect with us on social media and subscribe to our podcast on your favorite podcast listening platform.